Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have my husband here with me today, and thank you for joining us. Thank you to those that have subscribed to our channel. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. A few weeks ago, maybe like a week ago, my husband did a poll because today we are celebrating our 10th anniversary, 10 years. It's crazy. My husband did a poll on Instagram about a week and a half ago, just asking, I guess he took a poll saying how many people would want to see how we made it within the 10 years, or even if they were interested, you know. A lot of people were interested. I was like, babe, no one's gonna be interested in like how we made it this far. Like, that's crazy. But a lot of people were interested, and I was shocked myself because I just thought nobody was gonna be interested, but for those that are. So we made this video to we're gonna be making this video to just let you guys know how we've been. And 10 years may not seem like a long time to a lot of people, but to us personally, it's a long time. It's a milestone for us because we got married super young. I was only 21. He was 20 years old. And sorry, I'm gonna try not to say so much because I have a bad habit of saying that. But so I said it again. Okay, so yeah. So
we got married so long ago.
Yes, we got married long ago. We were very young. There's a lot we've learned, still learning, a lot we're growing from, still growing from. And you know, you just want to take a few minutes of your time and just kind of, we wrote down some little guidelines we wanted to go over, and
just some thoughts.
We just hope that, you know, it reaches somebody out there. And everybody goes through things in marriage, and no marriage is perfect. And if you look at a certain marriage and you think, man, I wish my marriage was like theirs is perfect, I'm sure that marriage has problems. I'm sure that marriage has disagreements, and I'm sure, you know, they go through stuff in their marriage. You don't see the behind the scenes stuff. Like, you know, we go through stuff. We don't put our behind the scenes on camera or on social media.
You guys would report her for hating me. Not just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But so yeah, so we wrote down a few little
so we got a couple thoughts, and
we'll let him start off.
We'll start, and I just wrote some things. I asked her, I said, my love, what would you share that makes our marriage work, that makes our marriage different? And I will say this, every marriage is different. Every marriage takes work. Some take little, some take more. But we are a product of our faith. We're a product of people sowing seed into us, of older marriages that have been married 40, 50 years. Our parents being married and never being divorced, and just people looking at us in a way that, I guess, wanting to help. And there was times in our marriage where we were going to get a divorce at 2-3 years in, and we just weren't working anymore. And we came to our pastor and we said, hey, counseling, you want to hit me, you want to put some holy oil on me, whatever you want to do. Like, we want to make this work, because you come to a point where you're either going to work on your marriage or you're going to give up, and you're going to bounce out. You're going to start looking for somebody else to make you happy at work or anywhere that poses something as something you want other than the person as your spouse. And these things that we want to share with you have helped us grow closer together in time. One of the first things that I wrote was prioritizing each other. There are things as a man and as a husband that you're just not meant to do anymore. And not to say that she's put restraints on us or anything like that, or Georgie, you're not allowed to do anything, but I've always learned, and I've always seen from my dad actually, is, you know, if it doesn't involve my wife and kids, it doesn't involve me. You know, I don't need to be anywhere looking for fun just for myself, because I'm not just one. I'm not just me, myself. I'm a man, I'm a husband, I'm a father before I am Georgie. And I've always made a priority to, hey, you guys want to go out to eat? My wife and kids are coming. Or, hey, I'm invited. Is my wife invited? Oh, she's not? We'll hold on. I mean, there's nowhere that they don't invite my wife, but if it doesn't involve my kids, I mean, we really don't go. And that has really given us, I guess you can say, an opportunity to show people, hey, we're a package, you know. That's okay. We're a package, you know. We come together, and You gotta make the time for one another. You gotta make the time to prioritize each other. Of, hey, this is my wife. You know, she goes where I go. We're one. There is no Georgie without Elaine. There is no Elaine without Georgie. And there is no mom and dad without the boys. Our boys are in the back, and I know we shut the door, but...
I mean, don't get us wrong. We're not knocking off anybody who, you know, I know there's girls that do, hey, let's have a girls' day or a mom's day out. And that's totally fine. Whatever works for you guys. This is just stuff that's worked for us. I've been, you know, where it's like, oh, let's have a mom's day out without the kids.
That's totally fine.
You know, us moms, we need times alone. We need times, you know, away from the kids for even a few hours.
But we're just talking about the times
yes,
where you need to be together. Going out as a family, investing in time into your family. That's one thing that I'm always stressing on Instagram or anything like that is invest into your family, because this is the only thing that gives immediate dividends, like immediate. You go love on your kids, you go love on your wife, they love you back. For you husbands out there that are looking for some kind of like, I don't know, okay, or some kind of something to authenticate who you are, you know, your family will do that the best. We said we're not going to go long, but
I just want to make this short and
we want to
sweet.
make it short and sweet.
I might get a little emotional. I don't
and
know.
that's
We'll
fine.
see. But
That's fine.
I'll try not to mess up my makeup.
Why don't you share how we've learned about that?
Which one? Okay, so one of our little notes that we put on here was the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And sometimes, you know, me as a wife, I can just, you know, when things go wrong here, you look at
Other marriages, other things.
Yeah. Sorry.
What are you looking at?
Because I just feel like you're just like looking at me like
I
I'm
am
saying
looking
something
at
wrong.
you like that.
Okay, so
If you see her neck, just I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. There's times. So in the beginning of our marriage, we got married in 2009, and a lot of people, for them, when they first get married, they have a honeymoon stage. Like, we're so in love, and oh my gosh, like it's like the fairy tale thing, you know. That didn't happen for us. Ours was opposite. I always tell him, like, I feel like I'm in my honeymoon stage now. Like, all these, I mean, not just barely now, but like these past few years later, because in the beginning of our marriage,
It was so hard.
It was very hard. We were so young, like, and not saying that we got married, you know, we knew we always wanted to get married and stuff like that. It just happened sooner than later. And, you know, we decided to make things work. And, you know, I would always want to compare, you know, like, well, I'm sure, you know, if so-and-so was like this, or so-and-so would be a better husband. But one thing we've learned, we go to marriage conferences with our church, and nothing like has to do with, because you have a horrible marriage, you have to go here. No, it's like a little marriage getaway. And we have it every year. So we've been going for, this will be our 10th year. And one thing our pastor always mentions is the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And if you feel like if it's greener on the other side, then water your own grass. And that's something we've learned, is we need to water our own grass. We need to fix what we have here. And I also put down like forgiveness. You know, for me, it was very hard to apologize. I did not like to be the one to say sorry. I was never wrong. I was always right. And that was really big for us. I guess it was just my pride. I never liked to apologize. And so that I had to learn, you know. So it's like we have to watering our own grasses, making it work, figuring out what's wrong here, that I'm thinking of different things here, or he's thinking of different things over there. And that's the whole thing. I also wrote down communication, talking with each other, because if you don't have communication, how are you ever gonna get by? Like, I was totally different in the very beginning. I didn't communicate. I held everything in. I was always afraid to let everything out, I guess you can say. Like, I've always kept a guard up. And so he would always tell me, like, babe, just talk to me. What's wrong? Tell me what's on your mind. And I always felt like if I said what was on my mind, he's gonna get upset or whatever, you know, or it's gonna cause a fight. So I'd rather save an argument. But once I've learned to communicate more and just open up my heart to him, that's where we can learn to fix things. That's where we're learning to water our grass. That's where, you know, we're learning the different things that we need to learn. And maybe you've already learned that. Maybe you learned that a long time ago, but these are just things, like I said, that we've gone through in the beginning of our marriage. And this was very tough. Like I said, we didn't have a honeymoon stage in the beginning of our marriage. I feel like just these last couple years. Like, it's like this is my honeymoon stage because we never really had that. And so it was just a lot of learning and growing.
I'll do the next one. One thing I looked at is it kind of touches on what she was talking about of comparing and looking at somebody else's and saying, oh, why isn't it like that? We live in a day and age where it's like social media platforms, Instagram, it's like the ultimate happy. We're at, I'm not hating or nothing like that, so I'm not gonna even say anything like that. Or, we're super happy, we're at the beach every day, we're in the mountains every day, we're at Disneyland every day, we're on cloud nine every single day. And in reality, that's not authentic. There are days where you're working, and what I mean when I say working is there's days where you're disagreeing and you're having arguments, so to speak, and you're having these disagreements of what we're gonna do, where are we gonna go, how are we gonna do it, our kids, finances, especially as parenting, and especially as the different phases of kids, toddlers to now we have what are they called now? Kids. Kids. And then the teenage phase. But everybody's working on something, and it's so hard sometimes to keep your eyes on Instagram of, oh my God, they look so happy, oh my gosh. But you don't see the trials behind those pictures. You don't see the work behind those pictures. Not everything is happy, happy, joy, joy. And one thing that we've learned was when you don't feel in love, because there's times where you just don't feel that. And it's not something or an emotion. Love isn't an emotion, it's a commitment. You commit to somebody, and you commit to somebody for a lifetime, and you commit through thick and thin, sickness and in health, for better, for worse. And when things are worse, you're still committed. That's what love is. And when things are not so good, where you're just like, oh, I'm gonna choke them, not physically, but you know what I mean. When you're disagreeing and all that, you realize, okay, this isn't fairy tale land. This isn't 1,000 likes and we're happy, and this is team us and all that. That's great. And there's a proper time for that. But when you really be authentic and true to yourself, you got to realize that there's work to put in. There's time you got to sow into your spouse. And that's one thing that I always told her, like, we're going to be authentic. We're going to be us, We're going to be who we are. Yeah, sometimes I am funny. If I came on here and was just all loped up, and that wouldn't be me. I'm just not like that. And if she came out here with lip liner and Sharpie.
I used to wear lip liner.
She used to. That would kind of maybe be her. But what I'm saying is we can't always look at other people, other marriages, and say, oh, well, they're happy this way, we need to do it that way. People take different amounts of work, and people take different things that work for them that don't work for us. I've always told her, I keep it real. I've always been one to keep it real. And I told her there was this one time where I was not in my right mind. I wasn't here. I wasn't invested into this marriage the first year or two in our marriage. And I told her, I don't know if we're going to work anymore. And I came home. I cried with her. We prayed. And I told her, look, there's this person that doesn't pose the same issues and problems as you. And when we went to counseling, we heard something that just shook me. And we went to our pastor, and he told me this. He goes, sometimes that person may not have the same issues as your wife does, but that person's going to have other issues that you're going to battle with. So it's not the difference of, well, they're better in this area, they're better in that. It's just different people. And sometimes the lie is, oh, so-and-so will make you happier because she doesn't do what she does. For a man, oh, so-and-so will make you happier because she doesn't act this way like she does. And that's where the lie is, and that's where somebody can come in and say, you know what, I am happier with so-and-so. I am happier with you-know-who. I am. And that's where you get to moving the other direction. And that's something that we battled with at our early stage. Can we be real with you? Sorry, can we be real? That's something we battled with at the very beginning with me, where I came to her and I did it. Nothing physically happened with this person or anything like that. I never physically cheated or anything. I just said, my love, we're not working. We weren't sleeping on the same bed. We weren't happy. We weren't going anywhere. And I came to her and I said, what can we do? We're 22 years old at that time. I said, what can we do? She said, well, let's go to our pastor. Let's go to somebody. Let's do something. And we realized that we were invested in this. We were invested in our marriage, and we're going to make it work, and we're going to make it to 10, 20, 30 years. and we just hit 10 years, and it's been great. But like she said, the first 4 or 5 were hard. I heard the analogy, if it's 2 crashing rivers coming full force, and then they merge together and they start moving along. And that's what it was for us. We're so different. If there was a scale of 1 to 10 of how much affection I needed, I'd be a 12. She's a 0. She doesn't need PDA.
I wasn't a 0.
You're a 1.
I was maybe a 2.
But we're so different. And where we would clash so much was I'd be like, I love you. And she's like, and I'm like, dang, she don't love me. She doesn't need
but
that.
I think because for me,
it's acts of service.
Yes, my love is acts of service. Show me you love me, don't just tell me, because for me it's like words don't mean nothing. I don't, well, not
no,
I don't mean it like that.
Her love language is
different. Yeah, my love language is different. Oh, also, side note, if you ever go to a bookstore, I read the 5 Love Languages, and it's a super good book. I got it at Lifeway. I know they don't have it here in Riverside anymore, but it's a really good book, and oh my gosh, it is such a huge eye-opener, because it teaches you about just the love languages, kind of like temperaments, I guess you can say, but more so love languages for a husband and a wife. Mm-hmm. So that was a little side note, sorry, but yeah, so it's just crazy. Like, and we say all this to say, maybe you don't have problems in your marriage like we did. Hey, kudos to you. Like,
that's great.
Good job. Keep going.
Keep going.
Like, we encourage you guys, keep going and, full force on. But our marriage didn't start like that. And, I mean, even now we still go through things. But, so this may not, pertain to you, or maybe somebody it does, or something like that, But this is just how we've dealt with it. Not saying this is the right way to do it. This is the right way to have your marriage. We're not saying anything like that. It's just our experience and what we've gone through. And, I think in the world that we live in today there's more, the divorce rate is so high rather than people getting married, like,
staying married.
Yeah, staying married, trying to work it out. And for us personally, we've experienced that on a personal level within our personal lives. And so when we see that, it's like, we need to be stronger. We need to make this work, because like he said, we have great examples in our families, down to his grandparents, down to my grandparents and our parents. They've been married for over 25 years. I think his grandparents hit 50 years of marriage, and that's awesome. That's amazing. And so I know we're in that line of many more years, but yeah, so it's just things that have helped us. Like I said, I just don't want anybody thinking, oh, well, we're not going through that, and that didn't work for us, and it may not work for you guys. This is just what has worked for us.
And one of the last things that I'll say as we close, I'm sorry, we're like at 20 minutes, and she's like, we're only gonna do 5, but it's just great to talk. One of the last things that I'll say is, don't let money, cars, homes, bills affect your happiness. If it's more money, we're more happy, or if it's more assets, we're more happy. Things shouldn't equal anything in happiness. Yeah, they make life better, they make life great in some areas, but true happiness is found in one another. You find happiness in your spouse. You can find love, joy, peace with your spouse, encouraging you, just doing things together. And I really encourage you. I know we're living in a time where it's like not politically correct to force faith on you or anything like that, but we're people of faith, and if you ever have any questions, you can hit us up on it. But get involved in something you guys can do together. It'll help hold you guys together. For us, it's been our church. For us, it's been going to these marriage conferences. For us, it's been investing. Like right now, we're on vacation for our anniversary, and there's been a lot of times where we can look at other things and other people say they have more, or they're doing better, or why don't we, or why not us? And that's not something that has helped us. All that does is make us more mad or more angry or question why, right? So I would say, don't let anything affect your happiness. Don't let money change you. Don't let things make you better or worse. Don't let things control you. At the end of the day, it's about you and your spouse being happy, and it's about you and your spouse making a life together, making life work. We just want to take this time to encourage you guys. If you're going through something in your marriage and you guys aren't that happy, and you guys just ain't on that same level of love that you were maybe 10 years ago, we want to encourage you that you guys can make it. You guys can thrive and strive together, and you guys can get to that level of, hey, we're in love again. Hey, we're doing good. You don't have to go to divorce. You don't have to head to the court and be like, man, we're done. You know, I used to be the one when we were first married. I was the one threatening her all the time. I really was. Anything that pissed me off, I'm going to get a divorce. That's it. And she was very committed. She was always like, no, we don't do that. And it took a lot for me to get that out. It took a lot of me for swallow my pride and my ego and my anger and different things. And
we're not saying we're totally against divorce or, you know, nothing like that.
No.
We know there are certain things that obviously lead to a divorce, and that's okay. That's all on you guys. We're not trying to say don't divorce, make it work, or you
Right.
know, if he's cheating
you don't
on
want
me,
to stay in an
yeah,
abusive relationship,
yeah,
or if somebody's
like
cheating.
that. It's just for
yeah.
the little things where the disagreements we've had the first season, where I didn't love him for a season, he didn't love me for a season, and I thought, forget it, this is never gonna work. Just stuff like that, the just everyday little things that come in between us. It was more like, okay, let's make this work. That's what we're trying to get. So I don't want to confuse anybody like, oh well, I need to get out of this marriage because it's abusive or whatever. No, that's totally different. This is just us. This is just the things that we've learned from. This is just things that we've gone through and stuff like that, and felt like we shared it with you. Like I said, I was very shocked that a lot of people wanted us to make a video about
share
stuff like this,
like
share
that.
our marriage and things we've gone through. We've gone through so many things, but just everything we've talked about is just what really has helped us, and the people, our family that's been there for us, our close friends that have been there for us. We're truly grateful for everybody. For you guys know who you are. You know, I don't want to get emotional, so go ahead.
Yeah, the people that know who they are, that have invested in us, we're so thankful. We're a product of a good church, good family, good friends. But be authentic, be you guys. Your marriage can work. You are special to somebody. If you are a spouse, you are special. And that person that you married, there is love there. And if you find yourself where you're out of love and you're just not feeling it, go start doing the things you did when you were first dating, when you were first married. One of the things she fell in love with was I was always so expressive with love. I was always telling her, I was always like, man, baby, I love you. You know, let me write you a note. Sometimes I just send her a text. And sometimes it ain't Dairy Queen and French fries, and that's great too, and hot Cheetos. But sometimes it's just taking the time to say, I love you. You mean this to me. And we just want to encourage you guys that you guys can make it. And even though you may not have the best marriage, you guys can still have a good marriage. There is no criteria of this is the most best successful marriage. Every marriage is different. We want to just encourage you guys to keep pushing, keep moving forward. This is who we are. We're the Valencias. If you have any questions, if you have any kind of feedback from this, that'd be great. Leave a comment, email us, write us. I'm sure if you message us, you want to text my wife, for you ladies, she'd probably give you her number.
I like to message the girls back who have messaged me and stuff like that. So I don't like to be rude. So yeah, our messages are always open. If you have any questions or anything, we're here. I'm sorry, this is not a beauty video. This is just a kind of marriage video. Well, you know, like I make a video, but it's okay. So thank you for subscribing to our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to subscribe, please feel free to subscribe. Turn on your notification little bell so you can get notified when we upload a video. And we appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching us, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye, guys.